What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. 2018 is officially here, and we're heading into the future with a stronger gaming lineup to look forward to than ever. The PlayStation 4 has seen many awesome games revealed over the last 2 years, including some killer exclusives that made it worth buying the system for, which are now finally looking to be released very soon. Therefore, I felt it was time for an update on what I am excited for the most, so these are my personal top 10 most anticipated PS4 games. I'd always been a little skeptical about Dreams. The reveal in 2015 showed a project mainly focused around a creation aspect, which is cool, but it wasn't really for me as much. Little Big Planet is up there with my favorite games of all time, but I mostly found myself playing rather than actually making awesome levels. However, since its comeback at PSX, Dreams has managed to spark a renewed interest on my end, also putting actual gameplay at the forefront and showing how many awesome and different types of experiences can be played. With a confirmed release year of 2018 and the faith that I have in Media Molecule as a studio, I very much look forward to seeing what Dreams will turn out like. Details are still a little scarce on Ghost of Tsushima, as we only saw the game getting announced a few months ago. Sucker Punch's infamous franchise has given me lots of enjoyment, but I do agree that it was time for something new. Ghost of Tsushima will provide that, going to the samurai era in 1274 with an open world game that will no doubt be lots of fun to play. Now, I still have many questions regarding the story and gameplay, but the in-game trailer showed off some incredible graphics and a cool setting, so I'm ready to see what will be revealed about the game next. A Way Out was all of a sudden put on everyone's radar only a month ago by creative director Joseph Fares and his small yet memorable performance at the Game Awards. Fuck you! And since then, more and more people have been talking about the game. Now, I myself had actually been looking forward to it already for quite some months, coming off of the EA press conference at E3, with this being my favorite game that they showed there. As a story-driven co-op adventure game, it clearly seems to take inspiration from many games I love, and while the scope may prove to be too big for a team of such a small size, I do hope that Hazelight can deliver on the promise. I'm generally not the biggest fan of the superhero genre, but I've always enjoyed games like Batman and Infamous for their fast and satisfying gameplay. I'm sure that Spiderman on PS4 will be no different. With a talented studio like Insomniac behind it, the people that made Ratchet & Clank, which is still one of my favorite games on PS4, there is little to fear. It's undoubtedly gonna be a lot of fun slinging my way through New York, taking down bad guys left and right with some spectacular set pieces to top it all off. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those classics that I missed out on, but I kept hearing about. It was awesome to find out at E3 that Bluepoint is remaking the game from the ground up, and honestly, it looks fantastic. Having played The Last Guardian, I already learned how special Fumito Ueda's games can feel, while sadly at the same time, I experienced how the controls and animations can often throw you out of that immersion. Fortunately, Bluepoint has promised that the game will be improved in this department, so I'm confident that I'm in for another amazing ride. We've had to wait for Detroit for a very long time, and sadly it's still not fully clear yet when the game will come out, other than spring 2018. What's been shown so far looks great, with 3 different characters and a very interesting future setting where androids are a huge part of society now, seemingly on the brink of wanting to take it over. Being a big fan of Heavy Rain, which was an experience that I still remember well to this day, Detroit could definitely be a return to form for Quantic Dream, and I am super excited to see how this story will ultimately play out. It's undeniable that Naughty Dog is still on top of their game right now, and with The Last of Us Part 2, the studio is once again looking to deliver. While the story is still pretty vague right now, the latest trailer showed a brutal yet impactful scene reminding you once again that this is far from a world without consequences. What this will mean for Joel and Ellie and how all the new characters will somehow tie into the plot is yet to be seen, but I sure know that I can't wait to see the continuation of this journey. Red Dead Redemption was one of my favorite games of the last generation. I still think back about how I'd ride around endlessly on my horse as John Marston just because this was a world I wanted to be in. With the beautiful views ahead and subtle music playing in the background, it was simply an incredibly memorable experience. While the second game goes back in time and changes things up drastically with a new protagonist, Arthur Morgan, I already love everything about his character and the footage that I've seen. Honestly, I find it hard to believe that the game is still coming out this spring, but regardless of that happening or not, I know it'll be worth the wait. It shouldn't be long until we finally get our hands on the game, but I can already tell that the new God of War is exactly what I want a video game to be. The combat looks as satisfying as ever, and the potential for huge-scale boss battles is already there with its new Norse setting. But what sets this game out over its predecessors is the emphasis, more so than ever before, on great characters and grounded storytelling. God of War will be an awesome, linear experience that I'll be remembering for a very long time to come. I'm absolutely sure of it. I've been intrigued by Death Stranding for a year now, and if anything, the latest trailer has only strengthened that excitement for me. While I understand that most people are still holding off as we have yet to see what the game will fully be about, I am convinced Kojima Productions will deliver. Having created some of my favorite games with the Metal Gear Solid series and making one of the most amazing horror experiences ever with PT, it is just awesome to see Kojima finally able to go all out and create something he's been truly wanting to make for a long time. Death Stranding's story looks insane, but I know that it will make sense in the end. And coming off of Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm sure that the gameplay will be nothing less than super smooth and satisfying to play. And while it may be the game on this list that is still the furthest away from coming out, it remains to be my most anticipated game for PS4. Thanks a lot for watching my top 10 most anticipated games for PS4. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know in the comments which games you are looking forward to the most as well. If you enjoyed this list, it would be awesome if you could support me by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel if you're new, or if not, by becoming a Patreon supporter, like all the people displayed in the credits on screen. With your donations, you make these top 10s, my in-depth gaming series, and all my other content possible, while at the same time getting lots of cool rewards like early access to these videos or the monthly podcast and Q&A. With that being said, I want to thank you a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.